Good morning, everyone, and welcome to AMHQ Early on this Tuesday, May 10th, 2016. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno.
And I'm meteorologist Kelly Cass. Thanks for joining us. It was certainly a busy Monday. We had terrible weather, 21 tornado reports from yesterday afternoon right through the evening. And today, Jen, we've got more than 14 million people facing the threat of more severe weather.
I know that you were watching tornadoes in progress on the Weather Channel last evening. We're going to show you some of that right now. Look at this video. It is risk. Yesterday was a very busy day. More than 20 reported tornadoes. Again, some of them very violent like that. Today, we're looking at an area across the Ohio Valley and the mid-Mississippi Valley with the risk for severe damaging winds and hail. Again, the main risk, but there is a tornado risk through this area as well. Paducah, Memphis, I know you've been dealing with storms this morning. Memphis, Nashville, Louisville, and Indianapolis in the red zone for today. There's another area to watch in Texas. We'll show you that coming on up. But talking more about this region right here, we've got Torcons up 3s for us in the afternoon and evening. Des Moines, Kansas City, Topeka. Again, the timing is all afternoon and evening here. This morning, thunderstorm activity could bring some gusty winds or some hail, but that should be the extent of it. Now, we take a look at the pattern. The upper level disturbance we've been tracking is still there. It's weakened somewhat, but you know, we have some ingredients still in place. We've got a front. We've got the low level flow coming in. We've got some jet stream energy coming in as well. So certainly the potential is there for rotating storms. We've got these thunderstorms out here right now, which are just thunderstorms with lightning. Always a risk, right? Your morning jog not happening if you've got thunder roaring outside today. We are looking at that rain moving through Paducah right now, but it's the additional rounds of storms later today that we're concerned about. Some of these storms may bring some heavy rain, again, gusty winds, as well as some hail again today. The hail yesterday in Nebraska was unbelievable. You guys around Lincoln area especially had some tough storms. Chicago area rain through the morning. We'll see possible thunderstorms into Louisville and then back towards Paducah, Columbus, Indianapolis. You can see the timing is this afternoon, right before the dinner hour, before you leave work, as you're trying to get the kids out to practice. That's the timing of these storms firing into the Ohio Valley. Now, the other area to watch is in Texas. Our dry line has retreated back west, and that will be a trigger for thunderstorms later today. A lot of heat building. In fact, we could see some record high temperatures in Texas today. This is the timing into the afternoon and early evening. This is 6 o'clock, Austin, Texas. You can see some big boomers out there possible for you this afternoon. Again, these could be some really large hail-producing thunderstorms as we see that potential. And then we looked at tomorrow, and our next disturbance moves in. We're going to see St. Louis back down to Dallas, back into the red zone again tomorrow with the risk of severe weather. All right, so let's talk more about what's happening now after that next round of storms comes in. We've got another big pattern change. And for folks like Chicago, Detroit, you're going to be feeling a much cooler trend coming into the weekend behind this next system. So let's look at Chicago. Today, 54 degrees. We got some wet streets out there. Again today, Chicago. We're going to see some showers. We'll see some gusty winds. We're going to see the chance for possible thunderstorms. But this is what we want to talk about. What happens to our jet stream by the time we get through the weekend? We see this big dip in the jet stream. You see these cooler temperatures right here, these cool colors. This indicating a dip in our jet stream, a big old trough, and that's going to allow the cooler than average temperatures to sink in. So we know we have some frost advisories up for this morning into parts of lower Michigan, but it's really the weekend weather that I think is going to have some of you worrying about any plants that you put in. Temperatures in the morning on Saturday are going to be close to freezing, even in Minneapolis, will at least be in the mid-30s, and then in the afternoon, only 61. That's close to 10 degrees below average. Chicago, we stay in the 50s. That's going to be 10 to 15 degrees below average for you. As we get you into Sunday, that cooler air does move into parts of the Northeast. So Rochester and Syracuse and Albany and New York City, all going to feel the cooler than average readings. Look at New York. Our average high is 69. We're finally, after such a cool stretch that we've been in for May, we get above average for Wednesday and Thursday, but then below average by Friday and back down again on Sunday. All right, speaking of the week, right, you have a lot of people who are, seeking shelter in one area that you hear about it happening on cruise ships, right? That norovirus can spread, and oh, it's so tough, and they do not need another thing to deal with. Now, we want to talk about the fires, and you might be wondering how it spread so easily. Right now more than 500,000 acres have been burned. When it comes to the weather plays a huge role. The heat and the dry conditions we had out ahead of the fire even starting was a big factor. We had days and days of record heat. And when you have some strong jet stream winds in place, faster winds aloft, and the hot and the smoke, the heat and the smoke, I should say, from the fire, that gets moved. That air mass gets moved. removed. And then you get hot spots downwind and the fuels dry out, and those areas are already prone now to wildfires. Embers from the existing fire can get moved in the wind and create new spot fires. Another interesting way that actually the fire got spread with this particular Alberta, Canada fire was it created its own weather. It created pyrocumulus clouds that had lightning, and then that lightning actually triggered new fires too. So just a tremendous explosive fire situation. Thankful that the weather has made a turn to get this more under control. Kelly. Strength of that tornado, no matter what the shape or size, until it creates damage. And it depends on that damage and the structure that it hit as to what the rating will be. That's why they do their surveys after the fact, which will happen a lot today. All right, looking at today's severe weather risk, we're watching for parts of the Ohio Valley, the mid-Mississippi Valley, and Texas as the two separate areas. Tomorrow, a larger area. Next system coming in to bring storms possible from Iowa back into northern Texas. That system on the move by Thursday, back into the Ohio Valley again. And then behind it, as that moves east and brings rain to the eastern seaboard on Friday, behind it, much cooler temperatures. Friday, we're running 10 to 15 degrees below average. Same thing on Saturday. The Saturday morning low temperatures in the upper Midwest will be chilly, and that chillier air on the move to the northeast by Sunday. We'll be right back with more on today's severe weather risk after this. Take a look at some other things today that we are tracking for you. Of course, Vail, you've had some chilly weather lately. There's been some snow back in Colorado and Wyoming and Montana, but then there's been the severe weather, and we saw that yesterday across the heartland. It moves east today, so I want to show you where that is on the map. The red zone stretching all the way from Arkansas, Missouri, right into the Ohio Valley, Louisville, Cincinnati, up to Indianapolis, back to St. Louis, all areas that we're watching. You know, even Nashville this morning, you're going to have some thunderstorms moving through. Get ready for that in about the next hour. So we have the players today, the stationary front. We've got that warm, moist flow, winds from the south of the surface. You know, the upper level disturbance, the upper level low has weakened, but it's still there in some form. So that's going to be one of the other factors as well, with jet stream energy helping to trigger severe thunderstorms today. Here we go, Nashville. Might be a little less than an hour now. These storms are booking along. So get ready for your morning drive if you're an early commuter to be an active one and busy one. So Fairview and Boston just around the 5 o'clock hour. Franklin 517. In Nashville 529 as we track this line of storms in. Might have some brief gusty winds. It's not at severe limits right now, but we are going to watch for some lightning, of course, to be another factor. Anyone's got to take your dog out for a walk this morning in Nashville. Do it now before the storms track in. Now, we've got a couple of thunderstorms moving through central Missouri, just to the east of Springfield. St. Louis, we are watching out for additional storms later today. We're going to take the radar now and put it into forecast mode. So this is the forecast radar for later this afternoon. You can see St. Louis, that chance for storms about 10 o'clock this morning. Indianapolis will have one area go through Louisville. Same thing later this morning, but then additional storms are still possible beyond that. You can see Indy, the timing is later this afternoon, about the time that first round of kids get off the bus stop. We're going to look for thunderstorms tracking through. Could have some damaging winds. There is a tornado threat today with 3s on our Torcon across portions of the Ohio Valley and mid-Mississippi Valley. The other area to watch today is actually in Texas. So most of your day will be spent quiet until later this afternoon. And now in our future radar, we'll see storms start popping just to the west of Austin, expecting some of these supercell thunderstorms to have a very large hail risk. That's going to be the main risk today with these thunderstorms. Large, damaging hail. Yes, Dallas, after the busy spring that we've had with hailstorms, we have another round of possible hail, especially south of town today. And again, that red zone from Del Rio to Sonora, Austin, San Antonio, all in it for today. Tomorrow, our next system drops in, our next piece of energy sort of reinvigorates everything, and we'll see the risk for thunderstorms from Dallas right to Davenport, Illinois. St. Louis, you are in it, Little Rock as well. All right, so this eventually tracks